What is going on, guys? I am back once again, and I don't even have the volume on for you guys. I'm not even going to be watching the highlights, to be honest. I'm going to have them as the background. I'm going to go on an Embiid rant because I told you guys before this game, I said if Embiid shows up, I'll respect him. You know, I don't care if they win or lose, whatever. I'll put more respect on his name. Yo, no joke. What was like 30 minutes before the game? Knee soreness is a bunch of bullshit. Embiid is lying. He's a pussy. He's ducking Jokic. I'll say it up front. No one else is going to say it. He's being a pussy. He has not played in Denver since 2019. Since 2019. And for some reason, every single time they show up to Denver, he's just like, oh, I'm injured. Sorry. He's not injured. He's doing what he did last year, right? He'll play in Philly, do really good, and then so that way people could have in their head like dipshit Perkins were like, oh, and Stephen A and all of them who are like, oh, Embiid dropped 50 on Jokic, blah blah blah, but then they always forget that Embiid doesn't even show up to the game in Denver, doesn't even show up. So it's like, so I'm gonna keep the ad going, but I'll skip it. But it's just like, dude, like, how could you defend someone? Like, I don't understand how you could defend someone. Like, that's just, it's ridiculous. I was like, I was playing basketball that day, early Saturday. I'm like, all right. Everyone's like, oh, is everyone gonna play? I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure everyone's gonna play unless Embiid ducks. And I get to I turn on the game like 5 minutes before it starts. And it's like, oh, Embiid is out now with left knee soreness, whatever. Like, that's a bunch of bullshit, dude. Every single time they're in Denver, he has an excuse. He's lying, and it's criminal. He is not MVP. I'm sorry. This is why he lost my respect last year. And then, then I gotta say this. When they were in Philly and he beat Jokic, he has the nerve to say, oh, Jokic is the best, he's the MVP, blah, 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 he deserves this, blah, blah, blah. Like he's there until someone knocks him off. And in my head, I'm just like, Embiid, shut the fuck up. Because literally last year, you were crying and complaining. You had Doc Rivers crying and complaining for you. You're just like, I don't know what else I have to do to win MVP, blah, blah, blah. There's only so much I could do. Like, all these other guys, I'm doing all better than all these other guys, hinting at Jokic. You were talking so much shit crying about not winning MVP. And now you get the sympathy MVP, and now you're like, no, Jokic is the best, blah, 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 all this shit. Shut the fuck up, Embiid. I know what you're doing, bro. I got my major in psychology. You're playing fucking dumb, all right? That's what you're doing. And it's really fucking irritating. Like, you get the sympathy MVP, you play the whole woe was me bitch card, and then you win it, and now you're like, oh, I already won it, why do I care? And dude, okay. So yeah, that irritated me. I had to say that, because I'm like, it's ridiculous, man. How he's just like, oh, Jokic is the best. He's the best. He's MVP. You weren't saying that last year when you were crying about it, like low-key throwing shade at Jokic, and Jokic didn't give a shit about what you said. You're perfectly fine talking shit last year. So it's like, dude, Embiid is a fucking fraud. He's a fraud. He chokes in the playoffs. He cries about MVP, and then like he wins it, and then he's like, oh, now he's the best. He ducks Denver to play against Jokic. Like, bro, he's not MVP. I don't know why everyone thinks he's MVP. Like, he literally plays against teams that he knows he could shit on. And then I heard that like nine of the 11 road games they've had, he's missed that were all against top tier teams, and he's missed them conveniently. Just missed them. Like, come on, bro. Like, no. Like, I don't understand. Okay, so then I have some notes. Perkins, I saw a video where Perkins was telling Embiid to show up. He's like, you better show up, you better suit up, blah, 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 all this stuff, right? He's like, you need to show up. And I'm all like, bro, last year when you were pulling the race card for Embiid, you weren't talking about none of him ducking or nothing. No, Perkins, you were saying, oh, hey, like, we're racist if we don't vote for MVP or for Embiid. Pretty much what he was saying. He's like, only a white person can win this 3 times in a row. You pulled the race card, and now you're all like, and last year he'd pull the race card, and then he would always say, oh, when he dropped 60 on Jokic in Philly, blah blah blah. Never brought up the fact that he ducked Jokic in Denver last year. I still remember that. He ducked him. And now this year he's like, oh, you better not duck him. He did it last year, you didn't say shit. But now you're trying to like right the wrong or something and trying to tell him to shut up, Perkins. You did the same shit last year and you were all for voting for MVP. And now you're all like, oh, you need to show up. Like he needed to show up last year and he didn't, and you still praised him. Like shut the fuck. So Perkins, that shit annoyed me. The chants in Denver. I love the Denver crowd because they were chanting, "Where's Embiid at?" Clap, 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 clap. Where's Embiid at, dude? And it was amazing. I was like, yes, thank you, because that man's a fucking fraud, dude. He ducks Jokic. He's just not an MVP. If he's ducking playing the MVP caliber players on their home court, no wonder why you guys lose in the fucking playoffs. The man fucking shrinks. He chokes. And instead of like trying to like rise up to the challenge, he doesn't play. And then in the playoffs, you guys are wondering why you're choking. It's because of Embiid. Like that's really all it is. He's not an MVP. He's not. He hasn't even made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. He's not an MVP. I'm sorry. He lost all my respect. I don't want to hear shit about Embiid. I don't, because he ducks Jokic every single year. I don't want to hear it. So yeah, I love the crowd in Denver. It was hilarious. I loved it, dude. And the last thing I want to talk about is ESPN. So I just saw a clip where ESPN was like, it was Woj, Stephen A, and the third guy. I don't even know who the other guy is, like an extra. I don't know. He's a background character, but he was there on the desk. And they're still defending Embiid, bro. They were still covering up for him. They're all like, oh, the medical staff knows what they're talking about, blah, blah, blah. And I'm not gonna, bother anyone with their health and blah, blah, blah. But yet when Kawhi was injured, fucking Stephen A was all over him. You need to play, blah, blah, blah. He's been injured for so long, yada, yada, yada. But Embiid's out, and Stephen A's like, it happens. You gotta be healthy. You need to. And everyone else is all like, yeah, we want him okay in the playoffs. You have him okay in the playoffs and he chokes. He chokes every fucking time. I don't want to hear it, dude. Like, the fact that ESPN is still just covering for Embiid is ridiculous. It is completely absurd, and I don't understand how ESPN thinks they can just get away with that. It's ridiculous. I'm sorry. It's just... I would be interested to see what JJ Redick says, because I don't know what he said yet. But, yeah, ESPN is still defending Embiid for not playing since 2019, dude. Since 2019. He hasn't played Jokic since since before I got hired at my job. I got hired around 2019. I'm like, bro, like it's been damn near 5 years. This man has played he's played in Denver. And last time Jokic had a game winner over him. So I'm like, he's not the MVP, bro. He's not. I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. Fuck that. I'm unapologetic. He does not deserve to be MVP. Didn't deserve it last year. They sympathy gave it to the crybaby of the league. And yeah, it's just, he doesn't deserve it. I don't understand how they just, dude, no. I'm sorry, but I don't care how good of a season Embiid is having. I don't give a shit. He doesn't play against Jokic every single year. He does really good to show, oh, look at me, I could beat Jokic. But then when they go to Denver so Jokic get his lick back, he doesn't show up. He's like, yeah, no, I'm good. And it's bullshit. He's not injured. I'm almost gonna be willing to guarantee he'll play next game. Because that's what he did last time. He played the game before, didn't play in Denver, played the game after. And then, yeah, dude, it's bullshit. I'm pissed. If you're an NBA fan, you'd be pissed. If you know anything about basketball, you would be pissed. Like, it's just, I'm sorry. Embiid's a fucking fraud. He's a fraud. That's all I'm saying. And for ESPN to try to fucking cover it up, it's disappointing. It's disappointing, man. This is why I'd rather watch YouTubers than ESPN, because ESPN has their own agenda. They're gonna push shit, and they're afraid to say shit, I guess. I'll say it to you guys. I criticize Denver when Denver needs to be criticized, and they're my team. Embiid's a fucking fraud. That's what it is. He doesn't deserve MVP. It's frustrating. Just the cowardness behind him. Just the cowardly tendencies that he has, dude. It's ridiculous. I don't remember ever seeing Kobe and them just duck other MVPs. No, Kobe and them were looking forward to it. Jamal Murray was looking forward to this game, because I don't know what Pat Beverly said some shit about like, oh, I've been locking up Jamal Murray since the bubble or something like that. So Jamal Murray was looking forward to this game. Jamal Murray didn't duck this game. He showed up. He balled out. Pat Bev showed out. You know, Pat Bev talked shit. He did pretty fucking good too. But Embiid doesn't. And this is why I think you guys choke in the playoffs. Embiid doesn't have that killer mentality. The only time he will have it is if you're at home. But when you guys lost, 76ers fans, when you guys lost in last year against Boston, right? And him and Harden just choked in Boston. Well, because he ducks all the games during the season. And so he's like, oh, okay, well now I have to play in the playoffs, and he just falls off because he knows he's gonna fall off in big games and away games. And he just doesn't want to show that because he doesn't want to ruin his MVP case. That man is more worried about individual accolades than he is the team. I wholeheartedly believe that. I really do. He wanted the MVP. He cried about the MVP. Doc Rivers cried for him about the MVP. But now Doc Rivers is like, oh, Jokic is the best. Blows my mind, dude. It blows my mind just how that could happen. It's just, it's disgusting. It is disgusting. So it's gonna be for me, guys. Sorry, I didn't even show highlights I didn't even talk about the game because bro, whether they won or lost, I did not care. I had my video as soon as Embiid decided to pussy out and not play. I had the video. I had the rant. I'm like, I don't even care if we win or lose. I really do not. It's just a pussy move, man. I don't know what else to say. That's it. Coward move, pussy move. I have no respect for Embiid. I do not. I'm sorry. But last year, to me, it's always been Jokic, Antetokounmpo, and Embiid. That's how it's always been. Jokic 1, Giannis 2, Embiid 3. And that's how it still remains. Actually, I don't even think Embiid's top 3. I'd rather have SGA. Let's be real. Give me SGA or Luka right now. I don't want Embiid. The dude doesn't show up in big times. At big times, he doesn't. So, something for me, guys. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.